Hello, everyone. Welcome to our playoff recap. So we're going to get right into it. Finally, it's a week where we don't have to deal with Tuesday games or anything like that. It's pretty standard. Have a Thursday game, Sunday games, and a Monday game. That Monday night game last night had insurmountable amount of implications in that. I was watching. Basically, there was the two matchups that were really hanging in the balance were myself and Sarah and Ozan and Weezers. Denny's kind of did, but I think he had that kind of locked in going into Monday. Squid really needed something big from Dobbins, and he almost delivered. Honestly, if Gus Edwards wouldn't have vultured a couple of those, I guess Dobbins, you could say, vultured one from Gus, but flip one of those around from Gus to Dobbins, and that's a whole different game. So, in reality, they were all very close games, coming down to one possession at least for everybody. So we'll just go in right to the recap, start right at the top. Denny, huge upset, taking down Squid, who has been an absolute force this year. Still, really big congratulations to Squid on just an amazing regular season. He did a great job drafting Derrick Henry, Tyreek Hill, a lot of these guys just propelling him into the position he was in. Denny, true underdogs. From barely making the playoffs, and barely, a lot of things needed to happen for Denny to make the playoffs even, and here he is. Coming down to a matter of less than a point for him to make the playoffs, whereas if I would have lost to Greg, he wouldn't even have been in. It would have been a whole different story. Actually, if he wouldn't have lost to Denny, I would have ended up playing Squid this week. So you can look at it that way, but I choose not to because it makes my feelings sad. So Squid had a couple issues here. He started New Orleans defense over Philly. Yeah, on paper, that is the automatic start. Who does he have on his bench? That was really the sad part of his day. Is Washington's D was San Francisco. 23 points, 2 touchdowns. That alone right there would not have only given him the win, but also the high score of the week. Real bummer. He just had some people underperform this week. Herbert was pretty okay. Henry and Hill just blew it out of the water. Jefferson just didn't get in the end zone. His tight end didn't do anything. Lockett was meh. And the Giants, despite scoring a lot, there was only one extra point kicked, no field goals. I don't remember the score of the Giants game. Maybe they got blown out. I can't remember. They must have. So big win for Denny. Huge. All of his players really showed up. The only person that didn't would be, Duke Johnson. And he could have started Sanders and would have been just as good. But, he has no one on his bench at all. So everybody that Denny needed to show up this week did. Dalvin Cook. And, Cam Akers, probably the biggest pickup for him and pick up and play. Denny went from being irrelevant to having 2 amazing running backs right now. And probably a blessing to any other team that doesn't have to play Derrick Henry now anymore in the fantasy playoffs. So congratulations to Denny and his first year in the league, and he's already on to the semifinals. And he will be taking on Sarah. So we have guaranteed a championship this year with a first-year leaguer, which hasn't happened since Amanda, I believe, made it to the championship in her first year, other than the first year we started the league. So let's go over the Sarah and myself's matchup. The 2 highest scores right here. Sandy had more than myself, but it's not in the playoffs. Who gives a fuck? So 124, 8-4 over 120.06. This was really fucking close. Chubb scored 2 touchdowns pretty quickly. The biggest thing is that the game was so high scoring. Cleveland's D really fucked me, and I pondered it all week. Do I start Cleveland's D? Do I stream somebody else? Because now these next 2 weeks they play the Giants and the Jets, and I was like, oh, some good matchups. I switch in any other defense on the waivers right there, boom, I win. So kind of did that to myself. But on the same second hand, Sarah's team showed up. 124. I think that might be one of the lowest high score weeks that we've had all year. Nobody really blew up this week, but I mean, 124, still a really solid and respectable score. And I couldn't have really done anything different with anybody on my bench. My tight end has always been shaky, but I mean, Ingram didn't show up at all for her. She had Taylor fucking finally scores more yards that he's had in the last 10 weeks, getting him almost 30 points. That was big for him. Russell throws 4 TDs. Devontae Adams had that monster touchdown in the first. It was like a 70-something yarder, and I knew that was putting nails in the coffin for me. I'm really not mad with how losing. It's fine. It's whatever, but yeah, it hurts. It hurts a little bit, but I'm really happy for Sarah. Just like Denny, she was at the bottom. She grinded her way back up, and I said it right from the beginning of the year. And I know I lost to Sarah here, but I said right from the beginning of the year, I liked Sarah's team at the draft. I think she has I thought she had a championship caliber team when she drafted it, and she's proven me right, at least the hard way. So congratulations to Sarah. Well done. One of the cheeseheads had to lose. And now on to the heartbreak game, which is still to be determined. And I only say that because of how close it finished. I mean, my game was close, but I've never seen a 4-point stat correction. That's just not going to happen. Wink barely winning. And these are the two lowest scores in the playoffs playing each other. 82.26 to 82.12. Yikes. You got to be careful. I mean, all they have to do is credit a defense with an extra sack, take away a sack, add a catch, take away a catch. Any stat correction going against Wink or for Amanda, it's switched. This is one of the closest matchups we've had. And I think for all 4 games, to be consistently every matchup is within, a touchdown. I don't think that's ever happened. I mean, both of these teams, I'm not going to say it, they weren't really pretty. Amanda had Kelsey basically carry her to this point. Allen, also her other big scorer, a lot of single digits from her. From her running backs were just kind of putrid, and she could have started Curtis Samuel in her flex instead of Corey Davis, but Corey Davis had been blowing it up. Wink is just, pretty much mediocre across the line, but it was good enough. This is gonna be a close one. I just keep an eye on it. Just stat corrections. Amanda, my advice to you is that I would go to the waiver wire, make your picks as if you did win, because you very well could be playing next week. Who knows? So just stay keep an eye on that for both of you. And then to our final game, another heartbreaker here for Ozan. The Mahomes and Gordon show, Weezer beating out Ozan 119.62 to 116.42, and again came right down to it. Weezer, Kareem Hunt won him the game, and starting the Rams defense earlier this week, that was huge. He gets 20 points for the Rams defense, which I believe he actually finished with 19 earlier. So was there a stat correction? I don't know if there was a stat correction there to give him an extra point. I could have swore it was at 19 earlier this week, but maybe I'm not remembering correctly. Either way, Mike Davis and the Rams D and Kareem Hunt last night propels him forward. really unfortunate for Ozan. I mean, that field goal at the end was big, but it just wasn't enough. And you had Lamar coming back. Like, yeah, Lamar just came back from taking a huge dump and threw that bomb. But Hunt kind of that last drive where Hunt got the ball and scored the touchdown. Fucked you. Fucked me too, because I had Chubb, so I needed that too. So Ozan is knocked out in the first round, and I don't believe there'll be a stat correction that's going to be 3 points. It doesn't happen either. So Weezer will go ahead and move on. And at this point, Weezer is playing Wink. Could be playing Amanda. Never know. And you have Denny versus Sarah. Both of these matchups are going to be pretty close. As of right now, Sarah has a 51% probability. The line is Denny's got 2.4 on the lines for the line, if anybody wants to take any bets. And as of right now, okay, it's giving Wink the advantage right now with the highest win probability. It looks like Weezer's made some moves here. He moved Darrell Henderson down to his flex, even though, I mean, he's got a lot of people on his bench that he could easily put instead of there. And you got a lot of people on your bench, too, for you. Wink, Matt Ryan at QB is going to be rough. I would know. I have him in my other leagues. So just a big congratulations to you four. Wink, this is your second year, I believe, too, in the league. So that's to be in the semis and have a chance at the championship. Weezer is the only original league member that is left in the playoffs now, holding it on for all of us longtime veterans of the league, playing against basically three newbies, Wink and Denny and Sarah. So big congratulations to you all. Just make sure you get to the waivers. Waivers is tonight now. I know it's been kind of weird in weeks past, but make sure you get your claims in tonight. I believe there's a game on Thursday. I can't remember. Don't hold me to that. But I know there's games on Saturday. So make sure that you are vigilant. I know the Bills and the Packers for sure play Saturday because it's during my in-laws' family Christmas, and I'm really fucking mad about that. Not the game, the Christmas, obviously. So make sure you're keeping up to date with your lineups. Again, you can still get high score even though you're not in championship or not. Make sure you set your lineups. You can still win that, extra $10 for the next couple of weeks. Make that pain a little less. Oh, big shout out to Ian. I believe you had one of the lowest points scored, 41.36. Now, because he's in the losers bracket, I don't really take it into account because there has been years past where people have scored that low before in there, but him and Bryce accounted for the two lowest scores. So congratulations, Bryce, on getting a win over Ian, even though it doesn't really matter. So make sure you get your in. Best of luck to the four of you remaining.